There's a lot of things you should do when using DistroKid, and a lot of things you shouldn't do when using DistroKid. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 biggest do's and don'ts for DistroKid. Starting off with the do's, number 1, think and consider your artist name. I've mentioned this in a bajillion videos, and I have to say it even more because I still get messages about this. When it comes to changing an artist name, it is super complicated. A lot of tricky things can happen. You might or might not lose out on all your followers. You might or might not lose all your analytics in terms of your streams and everything. It is super tough to say. And when I get messages, DMs, comments, and everything about DistroKid, about half the time relate to changing someone's artist name and all the complications that arise. I highly suggest before you release, sit down and ask yourself, okay, is this a good artist name? Is this something I want to stick with for the rest of my life? Does someone else have the same artist name? That can cause a lot of complications. Are there any weird legal complications as well? For example, maybe there isn't a DJ McDonald's out there, but being DJ McDonald's might cause you some troubles later down the line. This is by far the most important thing to think about before you release music. Is your artist name the exact one you want to stick with? Number 2, look at the goodies. Now, I do want to say when it comes to using DistroKid, it is super simple, especially when you're looking at the uploading section. However, a lot of artists forget to check out the goodies. Within the goodies, at least at the exact time of this video, I counted 28 different goodies organized by different sections. Make sure you look at these. Some of these might be more useful to you than others, but definitely check all of them out because some of them are very good for making funny videos, being able to get special access to things like Spotify for artists or Apple Music for artists or the YouTube official artist channel, and a lot more. Also, like a sub pro tip I'm gonna give, or a pro tipception, follow DistroKid on Twitter and Instagram. I want to stress I don't work for them. The reason why I say this though is when they roll out a new feature, I've noticed they usually try it out and post about it on Twitter or Instagram first. For example, at the exact time of this video, and I've already done a video about this, they released the DistroKid AI album art generator, also referred to as DistroPick. If you want to check it out, go to distropick.com. What you can do is type in anything, and AI using Stable Diffusion will make a picture for you. It's mind-blowing, being honest. It's crazy. Some of the pictures are super cool. Some of them a bit trippy and weird. Some of them have like uncanny valley to the max, but definitely check it out. It's amazing. However, when I looked at the goodies section, DistroPick didn't appear at all. I found out about it through their Twitter, and maybe they're still updating it, trying to get it perfect, and then they'll post it on the site as like an actual clickable under goodies. But definitely follow them so you can stay up to date about all the new features, which they're rolling out all the time. Number 3 is check for new stores. I do want to say, as a side note, the store maximizer add-on or extra, not worth the money whatsoever. Don't select it. I'm sorry, it's not a good feature, and it can add up very quickly over time. But the good thing about DistroKid is we're always adding in new stores. I've already done a video tutorial about how to add in your previous releases to new stores, but any single time DistroKid posts on Twitter or Instagram about a new store, anytime I hear about it on social media, any single time I upload, like say, a new record, and it says, hey, your upload's also been added to this new store we just added, I make sure to manually go back to all my releases and submit them to that new store. 1, it's completely free to do. It doesn't cost you any extra money. And 2, hey, it's more publicity, more music in more places, and it's more chances for you to get more attention and, of course, revenue from your music. Number 4, upload on YouTube. Now, this one not only involves DistroKid, but also involves pretty much every other independent music distributor out there, TuneCore, CD Baby, etc., etc. Make sure, in addition to the fact that your music will already be released on an auto-generated topic channel, once you release a lot more, there will be an auto-generated artist channel just for you, but make sure you have also another YouTube channel with all your own personal releases. This is super vital because 1, you want to be in the YouTube partner program, and unfortunately, those auto-generated videos do not count towards watch hours in terms of the YouTube partner program requirements. Even if you merge those channels together, which by doing so you will create an official artist channel on YouTube, you'll get that cool little note check mark and be official. Unfortunately, even still, those auto-generated videos, I think because in YouTube's eyes, you didn't make them, it was more of a generated thing through YouTube Music and through your distributor, you still have to post your own videos. And in addition, for me personally, when I post my own videos, it could be a static image. I could also use a visualizer program like Spectre that I've done a video about as well. When I upload that video, I can customize it a lot more and do something called SEO, or search engine optimization, which allows my music to be more discoverable on YouTube. Please don't sleep on YouTube. I know a lot of people look at YouTube as weird vlogs or pranks or weird kind of funny videos like Mr. Beast or Logan Paul or whatever, but the truth is, in case you didn't know, YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the entire internet, only second to Google, and YouTube is the #1 search engine when it comes to entertainment searches. You need to be on YouTube, and best of all, remember, it's free to create an account and post videos. And number 5, select the Beatport option. Now, for all my DJs, for all my electronic artists out there, Beatport is huge in the electronic music scene and the DJ scene in terms of getting your music heard and getting it out there. I will say it's a little bit pricey. It costs you $10 a month. So if you're looking at it, it's $120 a year in addition to your DistroKid membership. So that is unfortunate, but as you can imagine, the more you release music, the bigger music gets. At some point, you're gonna be getting so many streams and downloads from Beatport that you'll be making money rather than losing money on that Beatport membership. Now, a big pro tip I'm gonna give is Beatport is not just for DJs as well. In case you didn't know, let's say you release hip hop music, you actually can still release it on Beatport. What you have to do, this is kind of like a cool hack, is select electronic as your genre when you're releasing music, and under the electronic subgenre, you can select hip hop. So let's say you're a reggaeton or a dancehall artist, for example, you could still release your music normally, but still release it as an electronic dancehall record. That way it goes on Beatport. That way you're hitting a whole other market, you're getting music out there, and hey, like say a DJ picks up your record and you're like, wow, this is a great dancehall beat. I can throw this in on a mix. Boom, now you're getting more traffic, more attention, more money. Now going to the don'ts. Number 1, don't just select all the extras and add-ons. This is something I did for my first release. I was super excited to release it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna select everything so I can really get it out there. The truth is, some extras are definitely worth it. Other ones are definitely not worth it. I highly suggest reading through all of them because remember, DistroKid costs only $20 a year for unlimited uploads. That's amazing. However, the extras and add-ons will cost you more money. So this is something you definitely have to keep in mind and kind of weigh the pros and cons. Like I said, it's different for everybody. It really depends on your situation. Make sure you read them in full before selecting them. Number 2, don't forget about pros or performance rights organizations. Now, I've done a bunch of videos about pros. I've linked this below to them in the description. In addition, in that list in the description, I'll have more videos referencing different things I talked about in this video. But getting back to pros, and this could get super technical, which is why I'm going to skim the surface here. When a lot of people release music, they initially think about streams and downloads. That's the biggest thing most musicians think about. However, there's a whole other side of the coin, and that's the performance rights. The best analogy I can give is pretend like you're driving and a radio station plays your music. Well, they're not really downloading it per se. They're not really streaming it. If you think about it in the traditional terms, they're more performing it out. You actually can get revenue from that performance. This is also true for most concert venues as well. And of course, you want to make sure you're getting the proper royalties whenever your music is performed. The main service that I personally use is Songtrust. Again, all the videos listed below in the description about it. Whether you use Songtrust or a whole other platform, just make sure you sign up with performance rights organizations. If you don't, you're literally missing out on all that revenue. Number 3, don't steal artwork. This is a big one that a lot of musicians don't think about because when you release music, you're gonna have, of course, album art for it. Unless you go online, you just Google something random, you steal a photographer's image and use it as your album artwork with your name on it. If that image is copyrighted, your music, more likely than not, will actually be taken out of stores. You might get in trouble. It's tough to say. Make sure you have the rights not only to your music, of course, but that album artwork as well. 1, maybe just take a picture with your iPhone, create your own album cover and take that photo yourself. 2, go to a site like Pixabay, which is free, royalty-free images. I know it sounds a bit redundant, but essentially you can go on Pixabay, download those photos for free, use them for free, and make money with it, which is pretty awesome. Or 3, like I mentioned earlier, go to the DistroKid AI album art generator. I'm not gonna lie, that's what I'm gonna use like 100% of the time now, just because it's so cool to me. You can quickly use that, and DistroKid has stated that any artwork created with that art AI generator, you can use for your artwork. Number 4, don't put your music in YouTube Content ID. I get a lot of questions about this. I already did a super in-depth video about it. Again, all these videos I'm mentioning listed below in the description. When it comes to YouTube Content ID, here's the unbelievably harsh truth. The only way you're gonna make money from YouTube Content ID is if another YouTube creator is willing to give up revenue for that video. That means a creator has to put their heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into a YouTube video. They use your song, and it says, hey, sorry, this video is copyrighted. You can still leave it up, but the revenue is instead gonna go to the musician, and then that YouTube creator has to be like, you know what? That's okay with me. I'm not gonna lie, that is only gonna happen in 0.00001% of cases. Don't put your music in YouTube Content ID, and I know initially it seems enticing because you're like, oh, well, I want to get the revenue from it. But you're actually, in an indirect way, going to make more money by having your music not be in YouTube Content ID because, let's say a creator comes to you, wants to use your music, you could say, hey, use my music, just give me credit in the description, just link back to the original video, this is what I do, and that way they can use your music, you pretty much get free marketing from that, and in doing so, you can get more attention and more traffic, more streams, and more downloads. I've personally had my music featured in other YouTube videos that blew up some of my songs, and I ended up making way more money just from the attention on my music, rather than if my songs were in the YouTube Content ID system, YouTube creators would probably not use them at all. Why use one of my songs and give up their revenue when they can go to the YouTube audio library or NCS, use those songs for free, and of course, monetize their video and get money from it. And number 5 is don't just leave it. A big question I get is if DistroKid promotes your music. The answer is basically no. The best analogy I can give is pretend like you create a new candy bar and Walmart puts it on their shelves. Is Walmart promoting your candy bar? Not really. They're just positioning it in such a way that someone can discover it. Likewise, DistroKid will send your music to different stores. Rdio, Deezer, Tidal, Amazon, YouTube Music, Beatport, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, etc., etc. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Your music will be able to be discovered by anyone using that platform, which is amazing. However, in the amount of time of you watching this video, there have probably been hundreds, if not thousands of songs released, and it's tough to get your music heard, right? I mean, let's be honest, there's a pro and a con aspect to the fact that anybody can make music now and put it online. Back in the day, you needed like an agent and a manager and a label and a blah, blah, blah. Now you can do it quickly. I mean, hey, that's why you're watching this video. That's why you want to go on DistroKid to release your music. However, the con of that is there's so much music out there that's really tough to break through the noise. This is why you have to keep promoting your music. DistroKid is only the first step. Right when it gets on all those platforms and you're like, okay, now I know it's all there, you still have to promote it, market it, and get it out there. I did do a huge video talking about my 15 favorite music marketing techniques. Again, that video listed below in the description. I highly suggest watching it. And now, a bonus do and a bonus don't. Starting off with the thing you should do, set up a custom label name. You do have to select the Musicians Plus account, and I just gotta be honest, it's 100% worth it. Like I said earlier, the main DistroKid account is $20 a year for unlimited uploads. The Musicians Plus account is an extra $16 a year. So you're looking at $36 a year versus $20 a year. With the Musicians Plus account, you can have a custom label name. If you have the regular DistroKid account, when you release a record, the label is DistroKid. No offense to DistroKid, I don't like that. It seems kind of tacky to me. And what's cool about the custom label name is you don't have to have like a website. You don't have to have a social media page or anything. All you need to do, and I'm not exaggerating, is type in your custom label name. That's it. It is that easy. Again, you don't have to be like a huge artist or anything. This is just super easy to do, and it's well worth that extra $16 a year. And now, the final thing you shouldn't do, and this is, it's super important, and that is don't be unprepared for tax season. Now I know, there's nothing more fun and exciting than talking about taxes, but I had to finish off this video from it. And I do want to stress, I'm a former accountant, but I'm not your accountant. There are 3 huge pro tips that I'm going to talk about when it comes to taxes, because in case you didn't know, when you make money on DistroKid, taxes are not taken out of your revenue, meaning more likely than not, you will owe money to the IRS at the end of the year. That is a whole other ballgame for a lot of people that most people don't even know about or understand. So here are 3 huge pro tips when it comes to this. 1, hire a tax accountant. Just do so. The money you're going to spend on a tax accountant is well worth it so they can look at everything and determine your exact situation. Second thing, save all your receipts. This can get kind of tricky, but my best advice is this. Any single time you buy something, that's in relation to you making music, meaning you're using it to make music to then put your music on DistroKid, you can typically write that off. So let's say if you buy a microphone to record vocals, if let's say you have a Splice Sounds membership, you can write that off. If you buy music software, plugins, DAWs, etc., if you buy music hardware, MIDI controllers, etc., you can write those off. Make sure you save all the receipts and, of course, show them to your tax accountant. And number 3, and this is going to be a bit unfortunate for a lot of people, save roughly about a third of your earnings. Now, it does depend how much money you're going to owe to the IRS. It depends on your write-offs, it depends on your tax bracket, and a lot of other factors, so I'm oversimplifying this. But the accounting rule of thumb is save roughly about a third of your earnings. So let's say you have a crazy year on DistroKid, you crush it, and you're like, wow, I just made $30K for my music just from streams and downloads. That's pretty awesome. Take $10K of that, put it in your bank account in like a savings section, don't touch it. When tax season rolls around, you'll find out how much money you have to give to the IRS. Now, of course, how much of that $10K you're gonna have to give to the IRS depends on a lot of different factors, but this is something you have to keep in mind.